Cruising is a delicate balance. The wind on your sails, the waves below your keel, and the never-ceasing tick of the clock. Here in French Polynesia, every passage is a compromise between the desire for speed against the dangerous gatekeepers that are the tides of the Tuamotu's atolls. Passing through these oas has been known to sink vessels, and poor judgment through tired eyes can lead to irreversible damage. We've been lucky so far, but eventually, our luck was bound to run out.
Just before we start today's video, we wanted to tell you about something that we have been working on in the background that we are incredibly excited to share with you.
Yeah, this one is going to be huge. So as you know, we have been hiding out in French Polynesia for a bit over a year now. And in that time, we have had the chance to meet with some incredible people, see amazing places, and just generally soak up an awful lot of wonderful culture. And we wanted to find a way to connect with you guys with the Red Sea story, maybe a bit differently. Here, they do that with tattoo art. So of course we decided that the right thing to do was not that.
No, we have taken all of our photos and all of our videos from the last year and brought them together to create Polynesian tattoo inspired art. We have made 36 beautiful black and white images that we've collated into the first ever Red Seas colouring book.
And they do look fantastic. Like, we absolutely love these. We spent so long on them as well. But we need to let our publishers know how many to print. So we decided to open up to pre-orders. And Patreon, you guys have known about this for a little while now, but it's time that we let everyone else know. So if you're interested in getting your hands on one or more of these coloring books, you need to let us know by heading over to red-seas.com/art store.
There you can place your pre-order. We will be shipping these in October.
That's right.
And if you want an extra discount, patrons still get $5 off. So you can join Patreon at a $5 level and instantly get your money back in a colouring book. So you may as well just come join Patreon.
It's basically free. Why wouldn't you join Patreon?
Exactly.
That's what I would
Jump on
do.
over right now.
If I could do it, I would join Patreon today.
Well, welcome you over there.
Hi, guys.
It is 6:30 in the morning and we are underway. We're on our way from Fakarava to a place called Raraka, which seems to be that nobody has ever heard of this place. So we thought, let's go check it out. There's not terribly much of a sunrise right now because we've just been sailing through a squall for the last 2 hours. But it is trying its best. Ian was doing the night shift, so he's just catching up on sleep just now, but we are approaching the pass. So I'm going to have to wake him up in a second so that we can take the sails down. But I think we've timed it quite well. We've got about an hour and a half to go until low tide. So any time in the next hour and a half that we go in should be fine. A little bit of outflowing current to help us with our steering. But yeah, we've only got like 15, 20 knots of wind. So it's all pretty calm and lovely. How was your rest?
Yeah, not too bad actually. I think I probably got about 2 hours sleep.
At least an hour and a half. That's more than enough.
Let's go for that, yeah. So yeah, we left, when did we leave? Sunset last night, basically. We shot out the pass at Fakarava.
Yeah.
And we actually had like a really cruisy, easy night passage.
It was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good. Probably one of the better ones we've ever done because nothing happened. It was really flat and simple. The boat would not slow down despite us putting like 2 reefs in the main and at least 1 in the Genoa. And we were still hammering along at 7 knots. And then we found that wasn't current aided, so that was just Indioko wanting to fly.
Yeah, she's had a nice day.
She's had a really good day, night.
You've got no idea what time it is, do you?
I'm so confused. I think I have to take the boat toward land over there in a second though, right?
The timing of these passages is always really strange because it was quite a short journey from Fakarava to get here. But because we have to time it with not only daylight, but also the tide times and when the current is rushing in and out of the passes, it meant that we couldn't quite be sure that we were going to make it in a day if we left at the first exit of the day from Fakarava. We weren't sure that we would get here before sunset. So we decided to go overnight, but it meant that we were trying to leave as late as possible because low tide, high tide, whichever one, was actually in the dark last night and we didn't want to go through the pass in the dark. So we ended up kind of rushing out with about 3 knots of current. The boat was going like 8 knots through the pass just as the sun was setting behind us. I mean, it looked beautiful, but It was not ideal, but we made it through. And now it has worked out because just as the sun is rising, there is a pastime here. So it's almost low tide and we should be good to go. So we've got about half an hour to go until we want to go into the pass. So I think we're just going to drop the mainsail and then lazily downwind, kind of jibe our way towards the pass, going as slow as possible. And then we'll just motor in for the very last little bit.
Ready?
Ready?
Yep, pull, 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 pull.
I used to really not enjoy having to time our arrival and having to kind of zigzag outside while we waited to go in. But my new favorite thing is planning it so that our final approach is a nice little cushy downwind breeze along. Because like whatever has happened in the passage, it's just a chance to reset and go, we're here, look at the lovely sail, and forget everything terrible that went wrong. This sail has been really nice. I know it's been really nice, but I'm just saying, you know, it's not always the case.
Admittedly, we don't have 100% hit rate on easy sails. However, this one, easy.
I've liked it, yeah.
One little bit of rain that you wanted to complain about. Everything else has been great. So we've not been here before. Like nobody's been here before.
Nobody has ever been here before.
Everyone we've talked to has been like, where are you going? And had no idea where we were headed. And so I'm using the satellite imagery that's built into Zora to try and work out how to approach this pass because it's not charted. And basically it looks like it kind of goes in, there's quite a rush of waves kind of dead ahead of us right now. And then it funnels in and it splits into 3 paths. And I think we want to stick to the middle one.
Okay.
I think. The middle one then splits into 2 more again. I think we need to stick to the left. That's my plan right now anyway.
It's like a delta.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
I know words.
Yeah, fancy. Sigma, Alpha.
Romeo.
So basically as we approach, I think here there's the main standing waves. So we can kind of see evidence of it in the satellite. So if we approach from this is the east side, and then cut into the middle here, we'll kind of avoid the worst of the standing waves. And then once we're through, we just stick to the center channel and then make sure we don't hit this small sand island that's right here.
Well, we can see the standing waves from all the way out here. So we've put the sail away now and we're just motoring in a little circle, biding our time, and then we're going to zip in at the last possible second. Because of the way that we've timed it, we wanted to have outflowing current a little bit so that we have better steerage, more control over our rudders, because as long as we're moving, then we can control where we go. The problem with that is that we are approaching it downwind. So we have wind going in the opposite direction from the current, which creates these little standing waves and the turbulence that we're seeing. So it should be decreasing over the next 15, 20 minutes. But if not, I guess we'll give it a go anyway.
Yeah, the issue is it should be decreasing, but the tide tables are in this part of the world, and the guesstimator spreadsheet we've got is exactly that. It's a guess, and it has been wrong already quite a few times in the past. This area is literally uncharted. There are no charts for this pass. So I guess no one's come here and actually checked any of the calculations for tide. So it'll be based on a tide station 5, 10, 15 kilometers away, I don't know. But hopefully we're within 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, we can sit out here and wait and watch.
That's it, visual. Visual navigation is always the primary option.
There you go.
Something like that. I remember the RWA courses saying something like that.
I think really though, that means we should be waiting till noon so that the sun is higher in the sky and we can actually see through the water better, but we're sleepy and we want to get there.
Okay, so we kind of thought this might happen. Our guesstimators and our tide charts and so on said that it should be slack tide pretty much bang on now. In fact, about 5 minutes ago. And we're still seeing these standing waves outside, which means that the water in the lagoon is still trying to get out, and it's forcing these waves to churn up outside. So we're kind of playing that game of chess, and it ultimately comes down to our patience, because we could just make the move now, start pushing in there and just smash our way through the waves, which frankly don't look much worse than it is out here in the general swell. Or we can just keep doing laps out here in the deep water, I guess, right next to the island, and keep our eye on this for when there's no waves. And when there's no waves, that means the water in the lagoon is the same height, if you like, as the volume outside, and that's why there's no more standing waves. I'm not a very patient person.
doing it. We have been waiting around for about an hour and a half. Clearly slack tide is not exactly when it said it was going to be, but we've definitely seen these standing waves calming down. There are two sticks standing upright in the pass that we're just going to line up, and that should give us a nice pathway down the middle. And hopefully we can stay this side. Definitely all the standing waves are kind of over the far side of the pass. We will be going through them a little bit. We're starting to come into that now, but hopefully the rest is kind of manageable at least. Not like pristine calm, but I think the best we're going to get. So we're just almost lined up with the sticks. We're making our turn now, and I'm just really hoping that we can skirt around the edge of this and don't have to go into the sort of turmoil of bubbling, boiling water. It's quite impressive.
Well, this is kind of fun. It's terrifying if you look that way.
Wow. Yeah, you okay?
Yep.
Yeah, these are massive.
Hold on tight.
No going back now. This is us entering the narrowest part of the pass, and we are fighting some current, but these waves are kind of just carrying us through at the same time. They are so much bigger than I thought they were from further away. We probably should have waited. I hope we can get back out again at some point, because going the other way, that just would not be possible, not at all. At least we're surfing the waves here, but they are absolutely huge. I'm telling myself we're halfway through now. I just looked around and we're maybe not quite halfway through, but at least we can see the perfect flat, calm lagoon on the inside, which is the prize that we're going through this for. There is one narrow and shallow bit, about 4 meters, we think, next to these pins, and I can see where it shallows up on our port side that we have to get through that gap. And once we get there, then we're good. So then we're sailing. We're almost there, but I just looked back. That was a mistake. Well done, we're nearly there. Okay, this is coming to the end of the crazy waves. We've just got the narrow and shallow bit to go. We're almost there, we've almost survived.
I'm just gonna say, we've not been accused of it, but people have mentioned that we tend to be a bit too excitable and we maybe overplay things on occasion. I hope that came out on camera, because we went into this saying, let's not play this up, let's just relax, let's just enjoy the ride, and that was and is still quite dicey.
Yeah, to be honest, I have been playing it down because I am so nervous my knees are actually shaking. But if I admit that to you guys, then I have to admit it to myself. So I've been telling you that, the waves are just slightly bigger than we thought they were going to be, but I wanted to turn around at the beginning as we came in, but I knew it was too late. We just had to run with it. So I just focused on filming because there's not really anything I can do to keep the boat safe. So that is all on Ian. I'm so glad that I wasn't helming there. Oh, big relief. We are so nearly through, but that was not fun. So there is coral reef over on this side, and there are the two sticks up here that we're going to try and stay on the left-hand side of, and then we should be all free and easy inside the lagoon again. But at the same time, look how beautiful this is. I might have figured out why nobody comes here though.
That's 11 meters, 1-1. These two lights over here look quite new. Do you think that they installed them and then went, oh bummer, the pillars aren't right, and just knocked one slightly to make them line up? Or do you think that one's fallen over and now they're not functional?
Well, if it fell over, it's because someone drove a boat into it.
Or a big wave.
How deep was that part? Rather, how shallow?
About 4 meters. 4 meters.
4 meters.
So what's that? 20 feet?
12 feet.
Sorry, yes. Times it by 3.
There we go.
12 feet. And you can still see the shadow of the boat on the bottom.
That was absolutely insane.
I know, we're not playing it up. That was, it's just an easy one. We waited to the perfect time. just glide on in, piece of cake.
I think we're going to be stuck in here forever. I'm not going out through that.
They were bigger when you get closer. That's what I decided.
Oh my goodness, they were so much bigger when we got closer.
Apparently things look bigger when you get closer and small when they're far away.
Who knew?
Now we know.
Well, I know that we said we'd had like this perfect, blissful overnight sail, but that was quite a stressful way to arrive. And it was quite stressful before we even left the anchorage in Fakarava with a whole ton of drama going on.
Okay, no worries at all. So if he picks up the other guy, comes here, and then we go and find your anchor, I guess?
Yeah, I can see the anchor from here, so the marking is pretty red.
Well, this wasn't the plan today, but everything is kind of kicking off as the winds have spun around to the north, so we have no protection whatsoever, and they've kicked up to 25 knots. So it's like this full reversal, blowing everybody onto shore, and everything is going wrong at once. What do you have to do now?
It's quite fun. Yeah, there's been dinghies breaking loose, there's been fenders floating past, and then our neighbours just had to abandon their entire anchor and chain onto the seabed because apparently it was starting to damage their boat. It was hobby-horsing so hard. So they're just sending one of their crews in the dinghy now, Jonas, and I'm going to join him freediving to try and retrieve their anchor and chain into their dinghy.
But what are they going to do if they get it back?
This is a problem for future us. I don't know. I figured we'll just do what we can to be helpful, and then I don't know if they end up sailing all the way to the north of the atoll, maybe, or they just have to go in circles until the weather changes, which might be another 24 hours or more.
Yeah, so over the last couple of days, the wind has been swinging a complete 360, but it's not till tomorrow that it's going to give any kind of semi-shelter to this anchorage. And then it'll carry on and come up from the south like normal, and this anchorage will be absolutely fine again. But yeah, everybody is not having a terribly comfortable day. So far, we have been okay. There is quite a massive bommy behind us that we're just having to make sure that we're not getting closer to. But these moorings should be fine. There was a boat this size on it last week in bigger winds than this, so I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine, but it is worth keeping an eye on.
I mean, it should be noted that we're planning on leaving in about an hour and a half.
Yes.
So even if the mooring isn't great, we'll be off it in an hour and a half, and we've offered it to them, but they don't want to trust it. So yeah, all being well, we can lift an anchor, throw it in their dinghy, get it back on their boat, get back on here, then get us ready to leave, and then we have to get at the pass before the tide changes.
Oh my goodness.
A little bit tight.
Good luck. So Ian has gone with Jonas and another friend to try and lift the anchor. They've got the chain that comes right to the surface with two fenders holding it there to mark where it was. And they are hoping they can just manually lift it all into the dinghy, and hopefully the anchor is not stuck. There are so many bommies in this anchorage. Like almost every boat who has anchored here has got caught on a bommie at some point. We've seen so many people, we've helped so many people get their boats free. So fingers crossed they don't have to spend too much time underwater and diving, because doing that right before a night passage is not the best preparation.
I'm trying to shelter behind the shallow water now, but it doesn't work.
Sorry if this is like super close up. I switched lens so that I can see what was happening over at the markers on the anchor chain. I'm hearing the updates on the VHF. There's the boat whose anchor it is. They've got their radio turned on, and there's a VHF in the dinghy with the boys. There are two people now in the water. One has stayed in the dinghy, but they've been in there for a few minutes and haven't yet passed anything into the dinghy. So I'm assuming that the chain goes down and is stuck on some bommies, and they're having to come up with a plan of the best way to lift it. Or maybe they've tried and it's just insanely heavy, because we are about 10 or 12 meters deep here. So you're constantly lifting the weight of 12 meters worth of chain, and then you've got to lift the anchor at the end of that as well. It is not an easy task. It is all kicking off. We've got somebody in the water on the boat behind us. There's shouting going on. I've just seen another catamaran going out of the pass, and right now is the worst possible time. There is full outgoing current right now. We are hoping to leave today, but we are waiting as late as possible in the day, pushing it right to sunset to try and let the current slow down a little bit so that it's not quite terrifying. And now Lucky Johnny, the boat who we're helping, have now come in to bring, I think, spare parts or connect the anchor chain up to their bow. Not totally sure, but they're now right here at the situation trying to deal with it as well. So it's all going on. One of the things I do like about these kind of situations is that you really do experience the whole cruising community, because we had a dinghy float by our boat earlier, and I was ready with the boat hook to try and catch it. We couldn't drop our dinghy in this swell. The boat next door already had their dinghy down, so they came over and got it and towed it back to the boat who had just arrived this morning. And then somebody else lost a pearl float, and there were 3 dinghies over trying to retrieve it. I can now see another dinghy just passing by, checking in if they're okay. It is... Nobody wants to be in this situation, but at least everyone sort of looks out for each other, because we all know that we have to get through it. And hopefully by tomorrow things will calm down again and everyone can just enjoy the anchorage instead of just surviving in it. So it looks like they've now got the line connected up to the bow. Hopefully they can get that on the windlass and start lifting the chain and lifting the anchor. I can still see 2 people in the water with the 2 marker fenders, so they've not been able to lift it very much at all yet. And I still don't know what the end goal is here, if they're just going to try and lift the whole thing and then circle until the weather dies down and then drop anchor, but that could be a very, very long time. I'm not gonna lie, this is not doing anything for my anxiety. I have not been feeling great today in these conditions. We're getting ready to leave the pass as late as possible before it gets dark, and it should be fine once we get out there, but I am just feeling all kinds of nervous. And when you have to sit through horrible swell for a few hours before you go, it just doesn't give you the confidence that you want when you're about to take on a slight challenge. And I know we'll be fine, and I know I just have to get on and do it, but I would like to enjoy it if I can. Yeah. And we have success. I can see the anchor has been completely lifted. It is up on the bow of their boat now. And yeah, they at least now have the freedom to move if they have to and choose where to re-anchor. I don't know if they're going to stay here or move on somewhere else. I assume they're going to get back in the dinghy and drop Ian over now. And yeah, I'll find out what actually happened. And the hero returns. Well done.
That was hard work.
Yeah, it looks it.
Yeah, so basically, thankfully, they only had the 8mm chain.
Oh,
so
wow. Yeah,
quite
okay.
lightweight chain, so we're able to get down.
So why didn't you lift it up by hand then? Come
Well,
on.
we thought about it, you know, but we thought, where's the fun in that? No, it was basically because there's so many rocks and old coral heads around here.
Yeah.
Their chain was just kind of doing a snaky path through all the rocks.
Right.
And a couple of them are like 8 feet tall, but they look flat from the surface. So when you dive down to them, you suddenly realize, it's, oh, the chain has to come all the way over the top of this. So me and one other person, I didn't get their name, but the 2 of us were free diving down and just lifting the chain until we got it kind of straight and clear of all the rocks.
Wow.
And then they brought the boat in and we passed the line up, and they were able to start using their windlass to lift the chain and slowly navigate their boat toward their anchor. So the anchor is up now.
Do they have a plan now? Are they going to re-anchor here or?
Well, Jennifer was on the helm, was like, we still don't know where we're going. So they have no idea now. I mean, they might come at the pass at the same time as we do.
Yeah.
They might go where we're going because it might have some more shelter. I don't know. But yeah, they're not too sure what to do next.
All right. Well, the 28 knot winds have calmed down to 22. So maybe this is the beginning of the end. I mean, I think 22 is kind of where they're going to stay for the next 24 hours. But I was going to say we did what we could. I did absolutely nothing. You helped. Well done.
I would like, what's the tradition? Get out the water, hot chocolate.
Ah, there we are.
Is it ready?
I'm not that good to you. Well, this is a pretty cool feeling. We are in the very, very middle of this atoll, and there is literally nobody around. We didn't really know what to expect coming here, but that was kind of the draw. I am so excited to see how beautiful this beach is. I'm just picturing perfection, and after the busyness of Fakarava and Rangiroa, it is really nice to come somewhere and just feel like we have this whole place to ourselves. So we've come down to the southeast corner of this atoll. Today, the wind is coming from the northwest, so we have zero protection whatsoever, and it is going to be a little bit bumpy and rolly. However, overnight, the winds are going to swing around, and by tomorrow, they're really going to pick up and get quite hectic. But we should have like the perfect protection. We've got this lovely long sandy strip with loads of palm trees on it, and our experience in Harifa tells us that this should be the perfect place to hide out some stronger winds. And it is just so beautiful. There are also hardly any bommies here, so hopefully we won't even need to float our chain. And this is just going to be like the perfect place to be. How deep do you think, or how shallow do you think we can get?
I mean, I think we can get pretty shallow, like 3 meters under the keel.
Oh yeah?
Potentially. Just depends on the swell. We might want to stay a bit further out to start with.
That's true. We can always move tomorrow once the
Exactly.
kind of settled a bit.
But it does look like it's just a sandy beach going all the way up and then the shore. So we can get in pretty shallow.
Normally as we come into an anchorage, we start seeing the bommies on the bottom and you're like, oh wow, the water's really clear because I can see all the way to the bottom. And here, it is just sand, and so the water is just turquoise. I've got no idea how deep we are, but I already want to jump in for a swim.
Ooh, this will be a shallow anchorage. So this is made just a little bit harder because we've got the swell going and we've got a lee shore, which means the beach is behind us. So although where Briney's standing on the bow, it might still be 8-10 meters deep. Where the back of the boat is, it's about 2 meters deep. So we just have to time this right and make sure we don't end up accidentally grounding ourselves. No stress. Okay, that worked out pretty well. Probably not the best anchoring we've ever done. Certainly it's not that comfortable with the swell, but we've got assurances, we think, that the weather is going to turn around on us. So during the night, we're actually going to go from facing with our bum to the shore and slowly spin around, and eventually we think we'll probably end up facing the bow to the shore and the back of the boat to the middle of the lagoon. So until then, look at that.
I've just been in for a swim to check the anchor and there is not a coral bombie in sight. The whole place is just sand. We have great holding. I was a little bit nervous that we were too shallow for our keels and our rudders and things if the swell kind of picked up, but we've got another 2.5 meters or 2 meters at least underneath those, and I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. Even if the swell picks up, we are well away from the bottom, and overnight we should swing around, and I've done a quick check and we're not going to hit a single thing. So, oh, we made it. We're here. We're in paradise. Now we've got a private beach.